Yeah, about half an hour ago, yeah. I like it when someone asks you questions, you know what I mean? And this guy called Graham Harrison, yeah, asked me um, more or less how they got off of drugs and how they got off a drink, you know? And that's a nice thing to say, you know what I mean? To ask me. And yeah, um, the reason that I don't drink is because I've seen lots of people that I know, big faces, yeah, that get on the drink. And, you know, you could see them maybe a couple of days later, they've been on the drink and their face is a bit smashed up, they've had a fight, you know, and that happens, you know, and you can be bashed up by anybody. You got big names like Billy Williams, you know, kept drinking, kept snozzling, and then got bashed up by three kids in a pub. You got Cliff Fields, same thing. Cliff Fields was it in the park, had a fight with some travellers, drinking. Went into the pub. They come into the pub, started fighting. One kicked a glass, a sprint the glass went in his eye, blind him. And and then from there he went from a guy from 22 stone to someone about 8 stone. You know, it was terrible to see that. But drink, you know, and it's just a thing that Paul Sykes. Look at Paul Sykes, great fighter, strong as an ox, going in pubs, drinking. Look at the state. What happens to him? Look at the state of him at the end of the day. That guy had so much confidence, didn't he? It all went. It all went, mate. And then I was talking about, I talked to him about when I was taking the crack. You know, mate, I was just, got first thing I got on the coke, Lions of Charlie, enjoying my life, going out, clubbing it, without my other mates and all this, that, and the other, and then getting on something heavier because I met a girl that was on it. She got me on it, and I liked it, I really liked it, and I was spending money like silly money, yeah, and I liked it because it was something that made you do things that you never do, and the girls made them do things they would never do, and it was just exciting. It was good, yeah. But it's like everything. After a while, um, instead of you getting out your nut on £100 a day, I was getting out my nut on £500 to £1,000 a day, and that's what it was like. It was so likable that it got hold of you so much. You know what I mean? It just ruined your life. And then I had to take. Well, I don't know. People think this is a bit over the top, but I took half ounce of that stuff crack in the back of a van to get out there dressed as an SO19 uniform, right? SO90 uniform, SO90, and walk down to the car phone warehouse and go and rob them, and go mad, smash up motors and things like that, and I thought, yeah, I'm yeah, mad, mad thoughts, and then get nicked. The greatest thing that ever happened to me, a lot of people say to me, how do you get off it, And they go, rehab and all that, yeah. Rehab shit, man. Rehab shit. The only way I got off it was my willpower and wanted to get off it, but being put in prison for a long time. It wasn't hard for me to get hold of it because my mate Fatty, when I was in the scrubs, he was getting it wit and nitty over the wall and bits and pieces. I could get it. I could get as much as I wanted every day. But when I was in prison, I thought, oh, what? I haven't got my IPP yet, but I was warned about IPP. And I thought, oh, I don't want this shit no more. Because I can see me getting on it in prison and bashing up screws, hurting people, and then getting more bird. But whacking at how much bird can you get? And, I didn't realise I was going to get an IPP. But you can't get no more bird than IPP because it's an indefinite sentence. It's a 99-year life sentence. It's crazy, And I thought, mate. And then I see my barrister. He come in and he started showing me pictures and all that. He said, look, you like it's facial mapping and all this, you could be in trouble, you know, right? But I've had a talk to the prosecution and they said, look, you plead guilty to this and we'll give you a 9-year sentence. I went, no, fuck that, 9. I ain't doing that. And all of a sudden he said to me what I could get, and I thought, oh, that's it, mate. That day I went in there, mate, I was, crikey, man, I was shitting myself. I was mopping the landing 1,000 times a day. No, not 1,000 times a day, but I was mopping like a lunatic. Scrubbing the floor of my landing, like scrubbing it with a scrubbing brush. Going out back in the afternoon, mopping the landings. No one's ever seen anybody like me. I was crazy. I had to get off this shit, man. It was still in my mind. I was sweating at night time. More crying in my sleep. Well, I wanted this stuff. Getting up, doing press-ups, drinking gallons of water. And I ain't going to have it no more. I thought, no, I want it to get off of it. If I'd have been on it in prison, I'd have never got out of prison. I'd have been in there for the rest of my life. Because I'd have hurt prison officers. I'd have hurt convicts. I was a fucking lunatic on that shit, you know. This does things to me that, craziness. It doesn't matter. You know, as far as when you take that, I'm like King Kong. No one can touch me. I'm like a lunatic, you know. So it took me 2 to 2.5 years to get off that. Work, press ups, sit ups, gym work, bag work, every day, 7 days a week, 24/7. I was doing that all the time, never stopped. I never had a day's rest, mate. I never had a day's rest. And thank God that I was with people that didn't have a day's rest. They trained every day, so I trained every day with them, yeah? And that was it. Get up in the morning, go to the kitchen or whatever I was doing, press-ups, loads of press-ups, this, press-ups, that, press-ups, sit-ups, that, go to the gym, benching, squats, deadlifts, and every day. And in the end, after 2 years, 2.5 years, one morning, I got up one morning, mate, and it was like, I don't know, if there's a God up there, he done something to me that, you know, I thought, wow, you know, everything went, mate. It just like all went out of my mind, everything. And it was just, and I knew then that I'd conquered it. I'd conquered every fucking thing, drugs, drink, rock and roll, a lot, you know. Yeah, and it took me, I've done Big Bird, you know, but when I come out, I went, that's it. Didn't drink, maybe a shandy. Never took drugs, only drugs because I had a heart attack and I had to take medication. Other than that, never, ever, ever touched a drug. Anybody come around my house or I go into a bar and I go on the toilet and someone's taking that shit, I get out there 100 miles an hour. But if someone comes to my house and wanted to do it, I'd fuck them off. No, you don't do it in my house, mate. Piss off. You know what I mean? No one touches it. No one around me is on that shit, mate. I don't like it, and that's it. And bang, 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 nice one.